that was one long time. Rails.
Listen, don't come at me, okay?
Because first of all, you was late again.
I was not late.
You were late.
Actually, no, I was late.
You were late. Second week in a row.
5 minutes. That's the grace period, okay?
This ain't Target. 5-minute grace period.
It's 10-minute.
You know what?
Technically, it was 4 minutes. On the 5th minute, you're late.
Okay. On a 6-minute, you were late, I think.
Was it? At my current job, that's how it is.
No. Well, this ain't the hospital either.
I'm just, if I'm late, I'm late. There's nothing else. Like, oh, you showed up late. All right, cool.
If I'm 1 minute late, I can get reprimanded.
Jeez.
I'm like, that job sucks. That's what it sounds like.
Is
It's
there like
crazy.
there's no way around it? Like there's no.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're taking the train or the bus, you give the train car number or the bus number, and they can call the departments and verify, like, yo, there was a delay because of this.
But that's it. There's no other, like, there's no way to like circumvent it. See,
Their
for me,
excuse-
go
Yeah,
ahead. No, for me, if I'm late and I know I'm late, what I do is I forget my ID and I have to fill it out on a paper. But I don't tell them because it takes a few days for them to catch it. And then they'll tell me, hey, you didn't punch in on this day. And I'm like, oh, my bad. It must have slipped my mind. I came in on time.
Well,
I can't do it.
Stevie Brother Podcast.
I can't do it too frequently because then they'll catch on. But that's like my extra lifeline in case I'm running late.
Yeah, you better hope nobody in your job listens to the show. So
Word.
They're not gonna listen to this. Not at this. Once we blow up, maybe I gotta worry about that. If they look into the backlog,
Once they
I'll be
blow
like-
up, you're not even working there no more. That's
it's like,
sponsorship.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd be like,
Look.
screw you. Don't listen to episode. What episode is it?
That's a good ass
69.
question.
Hey,
69. Nice.
This is really episode 69?
I didn't-
And we not talking about sex? I'm disappointed. Disappointed.
let me check the archives.
Please don't. I don't give a fuck enough.
I think
truly
he's
don't.
right, actually.
He probably is. I don't care enough to look into it. Well, so welcome back to the Scooby Brother Podcast. As Brother Jay looks at this, I'm technically in the host right now, I guess. But it's your host, Brother Tay, in a depressed mood, with the man looking into the phone. He
I
still
know.
lost.
See, now you're just rubbing it in, Jay.
I know.
Oh,
This man's is literally without a phone, and you are just on your phone, being like, "Oh, look at this."
my bad. It's all love today. It's all love.
Is it? I don't feel it. Then again,
Not for
You don't
nothing.
know.
Like now that we bring it up, like it's crazy. Like when you lose your phone, like
that's a whole problem.
it's
for
your
everything.
whole life. Like you just like, what do I do?
'Cause we
I don't know
put
if that's
everything
a
on.
problem. Like that's not good, right?
I don't know. It's totally a problem.
We're too dependent on technology.
No,
That's
we
one.
literally we made phones that can do everything for us, and now that we adapted to it, once it goes missing, it's a full-on problem.
Like I
because
said,
I'm not-
we're too dependent on technology.
Yeah, because I'm not mad
Yeah.
that I can't message people. I'll get over that. I'm more mad that I lost my alarm clock for work. I lost my way to get into the gym in the morning.
I would be
I
more
lost my
pissed that
time.
I lost my freaking card to pay for the metro.
Or you use
Gotcha.
Omni?
Yeah, I don't use the metro card no more. Why?
Yeah, they're gonna get phased out soon anyway, so it don't even matter.
No, because like I
And that's-
used it because I still qualified at the time for the discounted fare. Oh no,
Yeah.
I used the discounted fare. It wasn't mine. But that was the only reason why. It wasn't mine. I was using somebody else's.
You probably should have said that to the MTA worker.
You just trying to get yourself in trouble, yo. That's 2 for 2 now.
And I couldn't say nothing. They're gonna get
Dude,
phased out anyway. It don't matter.
No, the Metro cards are getting phased out. Where's it on?
No,
Let's
the
get
no.
phased
Metro
out.
card.
Metro card, yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
get phased out.
which kind of blows me, but whatever. That kind of blows me because everywhere I use like, till I get a car, I take the train everywhere.
Do you use Omni or do you use a Metro card?
When I still have a monthly Metro card,
Oh God, how much is that? Like $200 a month?
120.
That's
For
it.
a month?
Okay.
Oh, that's not
That's
so
not bad.
That's not
Yeah.
bad at all.
I thought it was $200.
I thought
Hold
it was
on.
more. Yo,
No.
you know when was the last time I paid for a Metro card, bro?
Yeah, I don't
You work for
remember either.
MTA, you don't pay for Metro cards
That's
no more.
true.
That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't know these prices.
Like,
How
You
much is a
work every
weekly?
day. Well, you work every day, Tay, right? You work like 7 days a week.
yep.
So if you divide that by 14, because if you take it to go and come back,
You're
Well, no.
doing
Well,
full
no.
math right now?
wait, 120,
We're doing a full math.
that'll be $8, no?
What?
$8 a day?
Are you trying to see like what the value of his Metro card is?
I'm trying to see if it's worth it.
It
Well,
is. Trust me. Take 270. This is what you do. Take 270
270 divided by 2.
275
times it by exactly multiply by 2,
And then you got
multiply that by 30.
times 2. Oh, yeah, okay.
and it is
Yeah,
$165.
It is.
So he's saving like $40
Well,
a month.
Omni does the, which I've never experienced, the 7
Also,
day
you gotta-
thing or the
you gotta
5 day
take it-
thing.
It does. If you do like 12 trips, is now free for the rest of the time. Some shit
So
like
it's
that.
basically if you use it every day of the week, the weekend is free. But it's like I'm not
Which-
trying to travel on the weekend.
You need to understand. Like, it also is like a bummer because
Right.
like I also
Huh?
am lazy.
That by 8.
All by rides, but like you have to use it a certain amount of times.
Yeah, it's 12.
12
You do
rides.
12 paid trips, then the rest of the trips are free for that week.
Rides a day.
Yeah. I guess that's for people who transfer a lot.
Me, I'm lazy.
Oh, I don't
People-
transfer. I go.
or people who like who make that. Well, that's the same thing. I was gonna say people who make multiple trips per day. I guess.
Yeah, they
'cause
transfer bus to
I'm-
train, train to train.
Yeah, you need to understand. I'm lazy,
That's not what it's for.
so I go from bus to bus when I'm really feeling lazy.
That's very.
Also, even if I was to drive to work, I probably would not find parking. I work in the Bronx.
Yeah,
So-
same.
Not during the
So-
week. For me, I only drive in on the weekends. I would never find parking.
The weekend's easy because my second job is like a house, so it has a driveway. So if I drive there, I can just park in the driveway.
Oh,
You got two
there you go.
jobs?
I have 2 jobs.
Yes, that's why I said he works every day of the week.
Yo, you
Yes.
need some. Yo, bro, my man. When do you take a break?
When I get off work and I come home,
I told you we've gone through this. We don't know how he does it, but
literally
somehow he does.
when I get off work, when you don't hear from me, that's me sleeping. Not even me sleeping. That's just
the times
the-
where we think he's like MIA. That's just
I'm
him
resting.
sleeping.
I am resting in my house with my dogs, with my roommate, getting high, drinking. I'm just doing whatever makes me happy to relax me for the rest of the day.
Getting high.
What? I can get high if I want to.
His job don't drug test.
Yeah.
I don't think
None of my jobs drug test to begin with. Why would they drug test?
they don't do that anymore. Isn't that like
Yeah, the drug doesn't do that anymore.
jobs don't do that?
Most of them don't. Mine does.
Well, you're a city job, so it's different.
I would never go to work high.
I would hope not.
But
Well,
it
it's
stays in your
interesting.
system. That's the whole
It
issue.
does, but like that, the only time, like during that time when like drug tests were a thing, people would only get drug tests like if they literally looked like they were high or some shit, like they came to work high, or in our case when someone came to work drunk, like some people did in Target.
So, Jeremy wasn't here for that. I
Oh, there
wasn't.
was two. There was two, because when me and Jeremy was working together when you left, we had
Who?
a guy named Earl.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Earl came drunk. And they found him in the refrigerator section, passed out.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
yo,
Pants d-
I
with
felt
his
so
pants
bad
down.
for him. He was a freaking mess. He
Yeah,
had a
problem.
We haven't-
yeah. He was a
had
nice
something.
guy, but there was something's wrong with him.
He was
he
a
would
nice
come
guy,
into
but
work.
like,
He would come into work and he would have a big giant hole in his pants
yeah,
that was like ripped,
his
But,
pants was
like,
ripped.
but
Actually-
he just still wore it. I don't know what was
Lillian's
going
all-
on with him.
Nah, there was some other things. Like he was nice to us because we were guys. Apparently,
Oh
like,
yeah,
he
you would hit
said
on
some-
girls.
Yeah, he said some things to Lillian that was like sexual harassment.
Lillian and Arlene. There was, yeah. Like I said, he was. If you didn't know him too much and you were just talking to him, he seemed like a nice guy, but there was a lot
yeah.
going on with him.
Nah, he had a lot. He was something.
No one could protect him either, huh? He didn't have a union to protect him.
What was there to protect? What can we do?
Yeah, I mean,
How am I going to protect the man who's drunk and passed out in the refrigerator with milk?
I've seen it happen.
Unions. That would be a hard sell for unions, but I mean,
It's a hard. Like,
Listen, I've seen stranger things happen.
look, you can like fight for him if he's like, oh, he's like sexual harassing me, because then it's like it's a he say she said type of thing. He'd be like, oh, I just said the wrong, like I said it, she just took it this way, and like that's nonsense. You can do that, but you can't fight anyone
if
drunk.
you're passed out,
Like drunk, like passed out drunk, pants down your knees. Like what else? There's nothing a union can do.
yeah.
They can just get you some
Speaking of unions,
Gabrielle union.
Hashtag segues.
You got me on this one.
What we talking about, producer?
so I thought it was
Pertinent.
pertinent,
What?
apropos, any other big words you want to use. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if that was too wordy.
I don't even know.
Apropos.
Am I wrong? Do I have the subject right? What's this one?
We're talking about the union strikes from the
Oh, yeah, I
WGA
I
and
definitely
the
have the wrong one.
SAG.
What you thought we was talking
I
about?
definitely. I thought we was following up on the Kiki Palmer Jonah Hill situation.
Oh, well, we were, but then I thought this is more topical.
no, it's okay. They're both topical. It's fine.
Yeah. So as you know, if you're listening, or maybe you don't know, the writers for movies. The Writers Guild, Writers Guild of America,
Movies
and the Screen Actors Guild are striking because of a bunch of different reasons. Mainly, usually, it's for not equal pay, but like appropriate pay for
Living
what
wages.
they're doing, living wages, quote unquote. But the interesting thing is that they're striking at the same time, and this hasn't happened since the 60s.
I think that's what I said, right?
The last strike we had was the Writers Guild of America, which was 2008, 2009. I
feel
can't
like it was
remember
a little
exactly
more
when.
recent than that.
I mean, it could have been the last time I remember, because I remember when literally everything was like, it turned to shit because there was no writers, so you can't write television if there's no writers. So a lot of the networks turned to reality television, and that's when like the Kardashian, why did I say it like that? Kardashians became popular. Jersey Shore, all these like reality shows. I think Flavor Flav was coming up at that time too.
Script. There was a lot of it was reality shows and like fake dating shows.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that you don't need a script for.
Yeah,
became popular.
Because I think that's when Flavor of Love and like all these other.
New York and
Yeah, so they rose to prominence on TV, and that's honestly pretty much stayed the same way, because like you really don't see much on daytime television. It's usually like at night where you see like maybe prime time, but for the most part, those still became popular for a long time.
They're popular, but they were never ever like primetime type stuff.
True. Some of them were. Yeah. So it's just very interesting now, because now you have both unions striking at the same time, and it's a lot that's going on between them. I know Jay was looking it over about what exactly was going on.
I know why the writers are striking. I didn't know but I didn't know why the actors are striking.
Well, while you were searching for your phone tape, me and him, I was saying to the producer, I was like, this might be kind of a multi-layered episode because one of the reasons why writers are striking.
Is that I know it's livable wages, and I know it's
That's
also
usually
for
the
better
main
treatment.
the main
But it's
thing.
also
Better
for
treatment.
better treatment just as a employer, as employee. I think that those are the two things I've heard mostly about.
Yeah. One of the interesting aspects is, and it's more related to what we talked about. I feel like we talked about it a few times here.
We have
Is
I already know
in
where you're
regard to AI.
Yes, exactly what I was. Yep.
AI is now becoming relied upon for a lot of things these days, especially when it comes to writing. So, I mean, you can chat GPT and use that to write anything pretty much. You can write a resume, you can write an essay, which has led to universities trying to come up with countermeasures to detect if somebody's using an AI to write these essays. But then the AI can write a countermeasure to that. So it's like it's really insane how deep this goes. But the idea is that technically, if you think about it, it could lead to studios
just replacing writers with AI.
Replacing writers with AI.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
I get that, and I thought about it a long time because like that is an issue. Like if you, nobody wants to be replaced by a computer.
I don't know how much of a replacement it can be, because like for some shows I can see it doing a full replacement. It's the same thing how I feel about AIs with music based on like what's going on with social media.
Yeah, that's been a thing too, especially on TikTok. So far, it hasn't been like too detrimental to the music industry because it's just on TikTok, but people are basically creating their own songs featuring anybody. Like they'll have Drake featuring Ariana Grande.
Drake was trying to sue for that because like someone literally made a whole Drake song with an AI.
Well, so it wasn't. See, a lot of people think it was just like the AI did it by themselves. Like the AI made the guy who sang it sound like Drake.
Yeah,
and that was the issue. So people thought it was Drake. Like, oh, they didn't think it was Drake because he said it was an AI, but it was close enough that it was like, yo, why? Like, this can't be okay.
Yeah, AI is taking over.
Yeah,
take over the break over,
pretty much. So, but the thing is, though, I thought about it a little bit. So AI, the way it works now, is that if you write a prompt, like whatever you're trying to do, it takes resources from the internet that's already there in order to kind of like create something else. But it's still based on that work. You know what I mean? So let's say you want the AI to write an article about something. It can't just come up with it on its own. It has to use reference points. It has to use other articles to come up with its own article. And it basically like kind of changes things around, summarizes it, whatever the case may be.
Spark Notes,
yeah. You still need that original work in order for it to create what it needs to create.
You want to know an issue?
What?
I get what you're saying, but right now, due to what's going on with movies and televisions, most of the most popular ideas are just reruns and remakes of old popular shows.
Yes. However, you can't. Eventually, you'll run out of stuff to reference. Absolutely. And it'll basically just be a giant circle of regurgitated stuff. Mm-hmm. And obviously, people, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't feel like that's sustainable. For right now, it works because people are very nostalgic, especially like 90s kids or whatever. They want what they, especially like, look, they just released stuff for the new Deadpool movie with Hugh Jackman reprising as well as Wolverine. And he's wearing the suit. And people are getting nostalgic because they like that Wolverine and they want that to be like shown or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
that's
only
what
so much you can do that for. You can't do that in another 10 years because it's not nostalgic anymore. People are not going to be nostalgic for it.
now you're just being you. Now you're being lazy.
Yeah, now it's just being lazy. So
Well, I felt that they were being lazy once they started all this remake nonsense to begin with. You know.
Animaniacs
Yes.
made a joke about that.
Who?
The Animaniacs.
Oh,
Literally, as they did a reboot of the Animaniacs, their first episode, they made a song about how it's just rebooted and reused.
sounds like them.
The meta was crazy. It was funny.
I mean, you're not
They're
wrong.
like, it was like Golden Girls, Gilmore Girls, like Will
But-
and Grace. Reboot it.
Just
I was like,
reboot it.
oh. Literally it. Like one of those.
So, yeah, that's the writer's side. The actor's side is very concerning. If you looked into that, did you look into that, Jay?
I didn't get a chance to.
All right. So the actor's side, it deals with the similar stuff. However, similar issue with like AI and stuff like that. So I don't know if you've heard about what Disney has been doing recently with when they so for example, in the recent I guess in season 2 of like The Mandalorian, the Star Wars,
Barry?
they brought back Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, but it was a young version of him.
Oh,
Yes. So they use scans of him younger to put on a body double, and that was him.
They did the same thing with Paul Walker.
Paul Walker, yes, they did that.
They used his brother's body, like use scans of his
Of
face
his face.
to finish the acting scenes for what was that, Fast and Furious 6?
I think
That's-
maybe. Yeah.
Because he died during that production and he didn't get to
Yes.
film all his scenes.
They
Oh,
did that there. They did it recently with the Flash movie. They brought back one
Michael
of the old.
Keaton.
No, Michael Keaton. He's still alive. But no, Michael Keaton was in the movie as himself, like he was Michael Keaton. But they brought back. I mean, spoilers if you haven't seen it. I don't plan on seeing it. I don't care much.
No, I don't watch these. I don't.
They brought back an old Superman who died. Like it was one of the.
Reeve?
I don't know exactly which one. It was one of the older ones though. One like the classic
Superman.
ones.
Okay.
But they brought him back and they used his face and everything, and it was very jarring. So I'm assuming they got approval from his family, his estate,
I would-
whatever the case.
I would hope
witchcraft.
so.
But with the issue now is that these studios, they want to do it for every single actor. They want to scan their face and their likeness, pay them for that day's work, and that's it. And they'll be able to use
And this
that
is literally
likeness
the whole.
going forward indefinitely.
This is the whole thing where like, oh, as soon as they scan you, they have your face and everything. They don't really
Yeah.
need you anymore.
And that's where you get all these NIL deals from. Name, image,
Mhm.
like this. That's why they're so prevalent now, because for a long time, actors and athletes and they wouldn't get paid for their name, image, and likeness being used unless you were like Michael Jordan or something.
Yeah, you were a big name.
You know what I mean? And but now it's just like, yo, we can take a picture of you off the internet, like with all these AI apps and you know what I mean? Just create all these photos of yourself using AI, just scan your face and we put you in a movie, and it's just like, yo, this is too much.
I know, and it's becoming an issue. Like it was cool at first, like, oh wow, they brought back this guy, or this girl.
Was
whoever.
it ever really cool?
I
I
think
thght
so.
it was cool at first. When it first
I would
started,
kinda
it
feel
was
weird.
it was a little weird, but I thought it was all right. So when what was that? Rogue
Like,
One. You've seen
You
that
gotta
movie?
understand- No, but you
No,
gotta say,
it's
in my
another
brain-
Star Wars issue. Or
in my brain, I want you to know before you can, like, in my mind, I can see like oh, they brought back this person, but like if it was like an editing thing, like they just kind of edit him in there, like, and he's just standing there, like, but like no words or anything, no movement. I think that'd be fine. They're like, okay, this person died, but we're like, this is like a tribute to him. But like to make a full on like AI and make them like say words and do stuff, I would kind of be mortified.
So I think early on, I didn't really understand the repercussions of it. I just thought, oh, it's cool they brought back this character. So my example, in Rogue One, that takes place before the first Star Wars movie. So it's a prequel. Obviously, that movie came out so long ago that it's almost impossible to get the same people to reprise their roles. So one of the characters on there, he was already old in the first movie. They brought him back through like the AI and scanning and CGI and whatever. And I thought it was pretty cool. But obviously I wasn't thinking, oh, this could be problematic later on if they continue to do this stuff. And right now it's an issue with James Earl Jones, who voices Darth Vader. They don't use him anymore. They use a voice, a synthesizer to make you sound like him. Anybody could sound like him. He's still credited. I don't know if he's still paid for it. I'm assuming because he's a big name. But once he passes away, they can still use his voice and they probably won't have to pay him.
They'll have to pay his estate if they negotiated it. If they negotiated that deal.
That's the thing. Maybe a guy like James Earl Jones did that, but not everybody else, and that's the problem.
If you got to know,
because right now they want to be able to use anybody for anything without their maybe with their permission, but they want that permission in perpetuity.
I feel like now it's going to be a thing where they add it in contracts to work with them.
That's what they're trying to fight for.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a thing. Not even. Honestly, I feel more of it's a corporate thing where they're going to try to sneak this. They're going to try to sneak it in.
No, so basically, what the actors are fighting for is residual payments for if they use it. So right now, we see the problem with it, but the actors are not looking at it as a problem in the same sense we are. Like, it's a little jarring. It's like, wow, like they're using AI to replace it. They're looking at it as like, you want to use my license? That's fine. Or my likeness? That's fine. Pay me.
I want to get paid for it. Yeah.
Yes, pay me.
Which would also be that would be my complaint as well. Like, look, I also wouldn't care. Like, look, if you want to use my voice, by all means, just make sure there's a check in it. It is still part of me.
That's true.
But that if I was an actor, that'd be my only concern. Now, as a viewer, as currently are, my brain just freaks out. Like, why is this dead person back?
Why are they using this dead person in this? Because
like, there's no stopping that. Like, if they do, like, remember the big dude
like
that was in
Pandora's
Green Mile?
Box.
No, what was that?
Oh,
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah.
Like, what if they want to do movies where like he was in there, or they just want to use a giant person of his size? You can just put him in there now. That man's been dead for years. I would feel so weird seeing a movie with him in it.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, Debo's back. Like, what the fuck? How's Debo back?
The over-reliance of it is what I'm more afraid of, is that, like, people, they're going to constantly use these characters indefinitely. Like, they could continue James Bond with the original James Bond, and he'll just never age. And, like, that's the type of stuff that is, like, ugh.
After we killed them off so many times, we've like 13 James Bonds.
Yeah, it's just, it's weird. It becomes an issue. Like,
I feel like that would only be a thing until Nostalgia Wars out again. Like we talked about.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how much can you... I mean, I guess you start introducing it to a different audience, then it becomes just like, here's a new thing, even though it's old.
Another aspect that that's going to be affected by this strike is, or one of the reasons that there's a strike on us is also because of streaming. Streaming is changing the game also.
Absolutely.
Now, normally, if we wanted to go see a movie, we would have to pay for it every time we wanted to see it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you're
Not-
absolutely right.
Not anymore.
There was
Not even a lot of people don't even want to go through it. They'll just wait till it comes out on
just
the
wait till
streaming.
it comes out streaming. Yeah.
And it's funny because remember when we were kids, we would have to wait for like a year for something to come out on
it was
DVD
so
and Blu-ray
long.
Or TV.
It would only
or
it would
TV.
only or TV, yeah. It would only be quick if the movie was bad. I
Right.
remember there was one movie I wanted to see. I forgot what it was, but it was so bad that it came out on movies or DVD like 3 months later. I was like,
it was
damn,
on
that was
VCR
fast.
so fast.
Yo, like
I
I
used to
remember-
love straight to DVD movies. Those shit was great.
but now, yo, you can see the movie 1 week and a month later it's on a streaming platform. Like
That
shit's
was
on
like-
HBO Max.
It threw me off. It happened with the Mario movie because I took my kids to see the
True.
Mario movie, and then literally before the movie came out, they said, "Oh, it's coming out in digital this day," and it was like a month later. I'm like,
yo,
"Yo,
there's no point in going and seeing the movie.
I mean, I
theaters
already
at that
bought the
point.
tickets, so I was like, I'm seeing this movie." But
That was doing all funny. I went to see that movie with my roommates, and literally as we're driving over there, I was like, "This is on." I forgot. I think so. I was like, "This is on HBO Max. We got that at home. We don't gotta do
Yeah.
this."
there's some movies are still in the theaters when they release on digital.
I was like, "We don't gotta go to the movie theater to see this. Like, we can stay home." We still
But-
went to the theater to see it, but like, it's still
What-
on the mind. You're like, we don't gotta do this.
What
It's
is the
cheaper.
issue though? Is the residuals for those
That
streaming
can't,
deals?
That
That's
can't
why
sell
they-
well.
No. So
But
there
can't-
was, you guys ever seen Orange is the New Black?
I
Oh, I
know.
see
I mean, I
it,
just never
yes.
watched it. Never watched an episode, but of course I know about it.
So there was an actress on there who literally just like today I saw it. She posted on TikTok that she got a check for her residual payments and literally listed every episode she was on. It was like a whole long list. You want to know how much she got paid for that?
$50.
It's not that bad.
I said 50.
$27.
Damn it. I still won.
$27. It was
But-
like literally
what's
a
that?
whole long ass list. There was at least like maybe 30, 40, 50 episodes.
You can't even fill
And-
up a tank of gas with that.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how mad I'd be if I recorded 3 seasons worth of shows just to get a check for $27 in the mail. I don't know how
That's-
angry I'd be.
It's insane.
Is that-
Insane.
That's not like 1 year worth of works. That's years.
That's years.
Right. Multiple. Like, how many seasons was Orange is the New Black? Like,
I think it was
5?
like 5 or 6, yeah.
5. That's 5 to 6 years of work just to get $27. Maybe. Because I don't. Maybe this actor wasn't the main character. I'm guessing.
No, it was a side character, but still, $27. That
Like I said,
is
you can't even fill up a tank of gas with that.
that's
You're
sad.
You're literally just getting lunch.
If
Just
that.
lunch.
Yeah.
Depending
Get
on where you,
McDonald's.
With the
They
way
get-
inflation is. Well, I
Right.
was
Well,
reading
you-
something.
you would still get a meal at McDonald's or Burger King. You still have $10 left over.
So,
Get
okay,
dessert.
we know what the issues are, right?
Yeah.
How? Hold on a second. So, okay. So the thing about I y'all know I'm a union employee with the TA,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
The problem, I'm not a union rep. No,
I know I'm messing with you. Keep going.
You don't want to deal with that.
I don't
Sure.
want to deal with the headache. Listen, after being a supervisor for a year and some change, I no longer want responsibility at all. Like I just want to get my coins and go home. Okay,
Does he have a kid?
I'm not having kids. That's the thing.
you-
So the problem with collective bargaining, because that's what this is. This is an issue of labor disputes. Collective bargaining, labor agreements, contracts, fees, and this, that, and the third. You're always at the behest of the employer, which would be, in this case, it would be
The
the what?
studios.
That's right, the film
White
studios,
man.
Thank you.
The white
Hello,
man.
Who runs
The white
world?
man,
Come on.
yes.
Come on now. But the funny thing is, there's a lot of powerful white men on the actors and the writers side that
True.
can, make some noise with this thing. So where do y'all see this thing going? Because I genuinely don't know like where it goes. I can tell you from the transit perspective that it is actually against the law for us to strike. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. It's called
How?
the Taylor Law. Remember the last transit strike we had, which was what, 2005 or 2006? I think it was.
I don't
I
fully
don't
remember.
remember. I wasn't
Too young
I
at
wasn't
that
taking
time.
the train back then.
We were all in junior high school. I know that much because we were all
Well, I
around
was
the
in-
same age. So we were in junior high school. I think it was
Yeah, I had middle school.
2005. Either way, my point is, there were no trains and buses for like 3 days. I think it was like 3 or 4 days,
Okay.
and they actually threw the president of the union. They actually threw him in prison for 3 days and fined him. They fined the workers $1 million a day, every day that they strike. Right?
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. And then
And that
once
strike didn't last long.
it did not, the strike lasted like I told you, the strike lasted like 3 days or something like that. It wasn't that long. So where was I going with this? Oh, when he finally accepted the agreement, the CBA that they put forth, they actually put in a provision for the Taylor Law that says it is illegal for us to strike.
I don't understand why they threw
I
him
feel like
in prison, though.
that's kind of counterintuitive to the point of the union.
It's very counterintuitive.
That does. But my only question is, why did they put him in jail? Because it wasn't the law before that.
Because he's representing the union.
But
So-
no. You understand? Based on the timeline, he was thrown in jail before that. Before he signed the deal to make that a law, so he shouldn't have been arrested to begin with.
I mean, there's a lot of people who are arrested for dumb reasons.
He was arrested for 3 days for something that made no sense to me. Because
Yeah.
it's an amendment that we're allowed to do. Like, you have the right to assemble.
That's true. That's actually very true.
So, like, why was he thrown in jail
To protest, yeah.
for protesting? There wasn't a law yet.
There was probably
Must-
more to it than that. There
That's
has to
what's-
be.
I'm looking at it now. Oh, crap.
And then to get them to fine the workers, that makes no sense either. Like, if they're like, oh, people can't get to work, so we're fining you. No, that's not how that works.
When was this?
This was back
said
in 2006.
Release that 2006.
2006, yes.
So we were like, I think maybe I was like we were like still in middle school. I was in middle school.
I was still in middle school, yeah.
We were all in middle school.
So like literally, this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no,
Hold on.
that's interesting. No, like there has to be more to it.
Because you can't just
Maybe at the time.
you can't arrest
the-
someone for a
when
law
did-
that wasn't
How
made
long
yet.
has this union been a thing?
The transit union,
Yeah.
it's been around since at least the 80s. I know that much.
Okay, so like again, this makes no sense why he was arrested.
Yeah.
I just have questions.
It does raise some questions.
They raised a lot of questions. If I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to look at it why it actually happened. But the point that I was trying to make is that different levels of unionism and collective bargaining yield different consequences and results. So
True.
you see what happened with in fact, we going through a contract dispute right now with the MTA, both at the supervisor level and at the hourly employee level. The supervisors had just ratified. Well, they didn't just ratified. They voted on our contract. It should be ratified within the next couple months. But the hourly contract with the
It's still rolling around. Still in negotiation.
no, it's actually been put out to a vote by the members, and a lot of them despise it. Like a lot of them are gonna reject it. So what happens is, if enough people reject it, I think it's a majority ruling. If majority of the people reject it, then it goes to arbitration. and who knows what can happen in arbitration. So, you know what I mean?
So, with this in particular, with these strikes, I honestly, it's hard to tell. So recently, I want to say like a few days ago, I think he's the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger. He recently made well, I don't know if it was public. Maybe it was like in an email or I don't know. Maybe it was public because it was posted everywhere. That everybody was talking about it. He basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, that he wants to make this last as long as possible until the strikers are unable to afford rent or food or anything like that.
Does sound like a Disney person to say it. But yeah, they said they'd rather wait the whole strike out for the writers.
Yeah, so that way they force them into signing a new deal.
Well, that's
insane.
But that's business. That's what they do.
So that honestly, it makes me question. So these people, the people in the unions, they're striking for better pay, all these and negotiations and stuff like that. If I'm that person and I see the person I'm working for say that about me, I can't see myself wanting to go back to work for that person. That's the interesting part about all this, is that they're fighting for pay and
you're fighting for better judgment and friend benefits. But you need to understand, but if you based your whole career on writing for all these shows, there's no way that he's the only CEO that thinks that about writers.
Exactly.
Like Disney CEO just voiced it. You don't think ABC doesn't think the same thing? They work with Disney.
Yeah.
You don't think Fox doesn't think the same thing? I guarantee you they do.
Universal,
Amazon,
all of them, Netflix,
Paramount,
they all think that Columbia. They all think that because they're all in cahoots with it. It's like you know what I mean when I say this. It's the same thing with the sports. The owners of the teams think the same way. They're all in lockstep with each other.
But that's what makes it feel so hollow, that like they're saying all these stuff, like this actor Sean Gunn, who has worked with a bunch of like different people or different studios or whatever. He was calling out Bob Iger for what he said and stuff like that, and I'm like literally like going in on him, and I'm just like, so if he pays you, you're gonna go back to work for him?
You will.
That sounds so like hollow. Like literally, money will make you shut up. Essentially,
because he has a family.
I just feel like that goes against the whole idea of a strike.
Goes against the whole idea of a strike, but that's what a strike is. A business tactic.
It's a business thing, yes. But I know it just sounds so. When you have
you have to understand this whole American thing is all this capitalist. Like they don't fuck. When you work together as a team to get more money as a profit, you have to do these things. It's ruthless.
I don't know. I would feel weird if I talk shit about my boss and then he paid me money that I wanted. I'd be like,
how do you think NFL athletes feel?
That's how exactly. That's why I brought them up, because it's all this. It's the same thing, just a different industry.
There's literally a video and a picture of the owner of the Cowboys throwing rocks at black kids for going to all white schools. They still have to go to work for him and get the checks from him.
It's I feel weird about that, but I guess like you said, money
everyone
talks.
Does.
Money talks. Yeah.
And the thing is, we mentioned how there's this guy is gonna go against him, but what you said, remind me what you said, please. I'm losing my train of thought.
Sean Gunn was talking about like Bob Iger. Sean Gunn, he was actually more recently.
No. Okay, so before that, you mentioned how the Bob Iger is gonna say that he said that he basically wants to break them all down until they have no choice to go back to work. I guarantee you, the majority of the workforce in a sense is that person, because it's the same thing in the NFL. It's the same thing across all sports. It's the same thing with transit. The people who need this money to go through the most are the ones who are like, yo, who management is counting on to crumble underneath the longer they wait this out. So the big head guys like your A-list actors, right? So say like
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
Jackman,
Yeah,
those guys, they're
the-
good. You know what I'm saying?
they're good, but
They got
now
money saved up. You know what
Not
I'm
money
saying?
saved up,
the issue is because if that's their strategy, I feel like that would have worked if it was just the writers. Because obviously they can halt production. Well, not even halt production. They can find workarounds to make production go along.
It's more than that though right now, because I've heard even directors and editors are also on their strike.
Yeah,
as well.
So like
It's
now
all the production.
Now that it's both the writers and the actors, pretty much everything is shut down. Like there's no TV shows are being made, no movies are being made. So now I feel like that strategy can't exactly work because now the studios are going to be losing money.
Yeah,
The longer they hold out.
And that's when you always got to strike them on that bottom dollar where it hurts the most.
That's
as
exactly
Brother Jay has said. But like I said, it's not just the writers are going on strike. I think the actors are going on strike. I think the directors are now planning to go on strike.
Well, they can't. Yeah, if they don't have actors, they can't do anything.
They can't do shit. And then editors. I think editors are also going on strike that edit these shows and movies.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah,
that's everyone.
Mm-hmm. It's a domino effect. Yeah. So okay, so let me bring it back to transit. Right? When we went on strike that year, I wasn't there.
You wasn't there.
I wasn't there, but remember
you got
that day.
You got a lot of corporate spirit there, buddy.
For those 3 days.
He had that MTA spirit back in high school.
I know where I was going.
Middle school. Remember for those 3 days, they had opened school later. Y'all remember that?
I don't.
No.
So normally, we get to school, we have to be at school like 8 o'clock, right? Those 3 days where we had no trains and buses, they didn't start opening school till like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning because they knew that
this public school.
Most people would not be able to.
Yeah, that'd be public school. Catholic school was not doing that.
Oh yeah,
Catholic school was not doing that. No, they did not do that for me.
I don't remember if I mean 3 days out of when I was how old? I don't remember.
I remember every day opening at the same time.
Oh, that sucks for y'all. Well, the point of me bringing that up was to corroborate, saying like it's a domino effect. So
it's a domino effect.
The kids got to get to school. Kids are going to get to school later. That means parents are going to get to work later, which means less money's going to be made, and everybody's going to be fed up. Like, yo, y'all need to get y'all shit together. So
legit, honestly, that's why I don't understand. I understand why they probably, logically speaking, they arrested the union worker and fined the MTA workers because they had to get the city back on. Because I guarantee you that strike went longer. It went a month. New York City would have shut down.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, no.
There's
no way it wouldn't have lasted.
So I guarantee you, he was fully arrested on. There was no principle on. They're like, arrest him. We gotta do something. We can't.
We gotta do something.
I'm gonna look it up and try to actually dive into the reason why he was arrested. In fact, what's his name? Probably knows better than I do. What's his name?
Your boy.
Jamal Thompson. He probably knows. He probably knows better than I do, even though he wasn't working for transit at the time either. But
he probably knows.
Right. He's into
because he's in that position. So
right, he's heavy into unionism and all that other stuff. So, but I'm guessing that the fallout effect from this is just going to be we're not going to have any new TV shows or movies for the next, I don't know, maybe the rest of this year and into next year.
People are estimating that this could last at least until October.
Damn, what I'm supposed to do without Love Island?
I mean, I don't watch TV like that anyway. The only thing, honestly, it sounds bad. The only thing I'm upset about is they halted production on Deadpool 3.
You'll be all right.
I really wanted to see that movie, and it was supposed to come out next May. It was like the the
Cat
Marvels are
Butler
the
is
next one.
rolling in his grave based on your words. How dare you insult my boy? Fuck.
But
Let
yeah,
my- let-
I
let
feel
my
I
people get
feel
money.
for those who aren't striking, because like you should the idea of striking also kind of sucks too. Like you have to fight for basic pay
You-
or like
You have to fight for your right to get a living wage so you can live. You can have an affordable way to live in your state.
right.
This is,
And remember,
then
in
you also
California,
Yeah,
so
in
it's more
California
money.
that
and then they're also striking because they're getting treated like ass.
yeah, and that their
Now-
jobs are being threatened essentially.
So like
again,
now
treat me like
I gotta
a human
fight.
being?
You not know how much? Guess what? Civil rights. Well, I'll tell you, this shit sucks.
Yeah.
Like, why are you striking? Because I want to be looked as a human. I'm
I wanna
tired
be
of being
treated-
looked like the number.
Right. So,
Motherfuckers look at me like a statistic every fucking day. I'm sick of this shit. Yeah, makes sense.
well, is this the reason why Across the Spider-Verse or Beyond the Spider-Verse is getting delayed too?
No, I think
Well,
that's more of a production thing. Like it's a lot to
That's a lot of animation.
yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Animation surprisingly takes a long time to make.
What do you mean?
Like I remember when the
surprisingly?
first no, because it's like animated,
Okay.
like it's animated. So I don't know. Maybe yeah.
What
Maybe
do-
I'm just I'm
like, what do you mean
underestimating
surprisingly?
how long it takes.
Motherfucker, editing takes forever for us.
Yeah. Compound that.
Yeah. Imagine
But you
now.
also got a
Imagine
larger
we had to
team.
take.
That's
They have
true.
a larger team for a larger movie scale.
For larger movies, more effects.
Remember,
more...
like Toys R Us takes Toys R Us. Toy Story takes like what 2 to 3 years to make. Sorry, I'm thinking about Toys R Us. I don't know why. It's fucking
Toys
giraffe
R
in my
Us.
brain.
Why? Toys R Us been closed down for like 5 years, man.
They opened up.
That shit was That shit was bankruptcy for a long time. I
They-
kept
They
saying
opened back up. It's in the Mall of America in New Jersey.
Wow. One Toys R Us.
I'm sure there's another one.
it. Probably in the inner land states, whatever. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna call them for now. Inner land states.
That's
But-
sad.
It's tough to see where this goes or how long it lasts. But I mean, it's a good time to catch up on your backlog if you haven't
AKA
watched.
you,
Not happening.
motherfucker.
That's for game and that's different.
You, motherfucker. Like, every backlog you have needs to be caught up on. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jeremy. That I listened to the clip the other day. I was like, "There's no reason why." Yeah,
And I just bought another game today.
I
It was on
swear
sale.
to God.
I bought
Yeah.
I
What
bought
was
Resident
going
Evil
on?
3. It was on sale for $10.
Put Natalie on the phone.
Natalie, we need you.
No.
Oh my
But-
Oh
goodness.
Tell Natalie to text you like, are you doing your backlog tonight?
Like, well, but I-
So you feel like someone's at home with you. Set
Have you
voice
started it?
reminders.
Have you
Yes.
at least attempted to start it?
Yes. I
He's
literally
always
started it today.
attempting.
I
You didn't
have
understand.
more. Go ahead.
You need to understand, he's always attempting. Like, don't get him wrong, he's always trying, but he keeps adding more.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the issue. It keeps getting bigger.
It's
Get
like
your
it's
shit
literally
together, bro.
watching a brother. It's like literally watching your brother. Like, yo, that's a lot of pressure on you. He's like,
It's
I
like-
put a weight down. Would you put another weight back on? What's going on here?
It's like if you're trying to mop in the middle of a rain or storm or whatever. Like you're not gonna do nothing.
I seen someone try to wash their car in the rain. I felt so. He clearly was upset with
Or
his
yeah,
life
that's a
choice.
better analogy.
Nah, I've never seen. He clearly was mad with his life choices. Because he definitely was washing it, and it was
You gotta
pouring,
check
it was
the
pouring
weather.
pouring.
You gotta check the weather, and that's what's been pissing me off. Like I can't even wash my car because it's
I'm not
always
gonna-
freaking raining every week.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm washing my car in my rain, it's because someone's pissed me off enough.
I don't want to
Because
be
they
in the
keep
house.
nagging. Because I don't want to be at a house, or they nag me enough about it. Like,
So you
it's
just
like the
gonna.
car,
I'll just wash
I'm
the
going
car.
to. I'm
Leave me
going to
alone.
wash the car in the rain just to prove you wrong. And when I come back and you see no difference, I want you to leave me alone.
I just need to do something.
I can't be here right now. If I want to get out the house, I will call somebody. I don't got time for this.
Sure. Oh my goodness.
Oh, seriously. Can't wait for that for you.
Get their, let's hope they get their shit together. Let's hope Producer Jake gets his shit together.
But
yes,
what?
Both of those things.
With what? This basketball? Don't hope for miracles.
Everything.
Don't hope for miracles.
I believe in him.
That's one of us has. One of us has.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's nice to have one person believe in me
because it sure as hell ain't gonna be me. This fake ass headphone headband I got on denies all truth.
Oh man, but yeah, let's hope that they get this together because listen, we saw what happened during the pandemic. People were losing their mind because they couldn't watch their entertainment, which is sad.
Yeah.
False. People were losing their mind because they couldn't do anything.
They couldn't do anything. Yeah, that was part of it. But
also, pandemic was fun for me on the train.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I don't know if I've ever told you, but 2020 was a good year for me.
What? I mean, other than the breakup for me, it was all right.
Oh, sorry to hear that, brother.
It happens. Life goes on.
You keep normalizing unnormal shit.
You need to understand when I told you
that's who he is.
Yeah, like when I told you that wasn't the first time someone's done that in my lifetime. I've had at least 13 of those.
13.
Yeah, we're on a high list. I want you to know
not good.
I have
not
so
good
many
at all.
I have so many friends and family that I guarantee at least 5 deaths a year. And you just gotta get used to it.
It's sad.
I wouldn't normalize that, but I get what you're saying.
It is what it is.
It's so bad right now. It's like that. My grandmother and I talk on the phone, like literally, because my grandmother just had surgery. We were talking about her surgery going in because like they wanted to remove a lump that might have been cancerous in her chest. Yeah, it's been a very long week. that was the surgery about. We were on the phone like days before that. She's like, yeah. Then she's like, yeah. Oh, do you remember your cousin? And I was like, yeah. What about him? Yeah, his friend just got gunned down yesterday. I'm like, oh, that's sad. That was the conversation, and we went right back to talking about microwaves. There's nothing we can do.
Oh,
and I remember
like,
no, actually, I do have a grind my gears. So I had an experience this weekend. It's not an experience. It's just so last weekend. So I work alternating weekends. So this was my weekend to work. Last weekend, apparently, my director made a surprise visit. He normally doesn't go work on the weekends. And on the weekends, it's a little slow because we're orthopedic hospital. So we usually don't schedule surgeries on the weekends. So it's a little bit slower. And, I mean, discharges obviously are normal, but as they get out, there's less beds to tend to, this and that. So he came last weekend and found a bunch of people not where they're supposed to be. Yeah. And
damn, so I was thinking though.
Yes. Yesterday I got like kind of bits and pieces or whatever. So basically it came down to the supervisor who is supposed to be monitoring this stuff. They're technically supposed to be walking up and down on each floor, checking to make sure everybody's on their stuff and all that. But this supervisor on the weekend is cool. Like she doesn't really do anything. She'll still check on you if there's stuff that needs to be done, and she'll tell you. But other than that, if you're doing your stuff, she'll leave you alone.
Damn, I know she got in trouble.
She got in trouble.
Yep.
Because, and I found out today, apparently somebody on the staff, somebody snitched on the staff because they didn't like her.
Of course.
And I'm just, why would you ruin it for everyone? Because now this weekend, the weekend that I work, we had one of the weekday supervisors come in and basically lecture us like we were high school students.
Oh.
I literally, luckily I was behind them. You couldn't see me. I was laughing. I was just like, yo, I feel like I'm freaking 17 again, listening to the dean
I want you to know this right now.
talk to me like I'm a child.
I forgot what I was thinking of, but literally, whenever you're doing well, someone's gonna be mad at you. Someone's gonna snitch on you for something, and it's only for their own monetary gain, because they think if that person gets in trouble, they'll lose their position, and I can have their position. That's not how this works.
I don't know what the reasoning behind it was, but it was just like,
I guarantee you that's normally the reason I found out when people snitch on. If someone snitch on a supervisor, it's normally because they think they can take their position.
I heard it was just that they don't want her around. They want a different supervisor. I don't know why. And like, she's so cool. Like when I talk to her, I don't even feel like she's my supervisor sometimes. Like, she'd be talking to me like if she's a coworker. And it's just like, it's refreshing because I don't feel stressed. I can do my job. I make sure I do my shit. So they don't really got anything to come at me about. But it was like everybody else that they were trying to like keep an eye on. And it was just like, now we got to go through this for who knows how long, because somebody didn't like the supervisor. I'm just like, why would you do that? It pisses me off when people are that short-sighted. This is gonna affect everybody now.
That's people. Motherfucker, how do you think the same people who sued the government for the student loan forgiveness? Those two people, I still remember.
I remember that. Yes, I remember that.
I'm gonna sue because my family is rich, and I didn't have, and my family is rich, so I had to do a private loan so I couldn't get the Pell loans, and they're not allowed to.
And all that, yeah.
I always remember that bitch.
It's always.
That's why she sued. She sued because her family made too much money, so she wasn't qualified for the Pell grants and for any like student loans. So she had to take out a private loan to pay it, and then when she tried to pay it back with the student loan forgiveness, it didn't qualify, so she sued the government.
Dun dun dun.
It's always the vocal minority.
Gotta ruin it for everybody.
Ruin it for everybody.
I can't have it. Why should everybody else have it? Fuck yeah. That's what people think.
Hopefully it doesn't last too long. Today was a more regular day, or regular weekend, I should say, than it was on Saturday. Saturday, I felt like I had to look over my shoulder every 3 minutes.
That was about right.
But anyway, that was my grind my gears, or tell Wayne mad, whatever we're calling it. I told you why I'm mad.
Above. All the above. Tell me why you mad.
Tell me why you mad, bro. Yeah, because people are people.
Take us out.
Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. I've been very silent, Brother Tay. That's my
right. You made it through.
Now, along with Brother Jay and Producer Jay. If you want to hear more for us, follow us on Instagram on excuse_me_brother with an A. Producer Jay, why is it an A?
Because it's not racist.
There you go. Follow us on TikTok at excuse me brother with the ER, no spaces, because it is racist, because Brother Jay made it.
I did not make the TikTok.
I made the TikTok.
Somehow. I made the
Facebook page too.
I made
follow us on Facebook, right? And excuse space me space brother with an ER. Because I didn't make it, it's racist. All you need to know, because I didn't make it, it's racist. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, because it makes us look cool. And you know it's free, because fuck it. If you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, any other place that plays podcasts, thank you for listening. I've been Brother Tay, this is Brother Jay. You can't see him dancing, but he's hitting it. Producer Jay is getting ready to be lonely for the next 10 days. Thank you very much for listening. Peace, love, Friday. Chicken, grease, applesauce.
I have till Friday before I'm all alone.
Peace, love, apple grease, applesauce, and apple jacks.
There's no one here.
I want apples for some strange reason.
My problems have all gone. There's no one to right.